The positions which were contested are leader, chairperson, two vice chairpersons, treasurer, and 15 Central Executive Committee members. V&A Associates were engaged to conduct the elections, which entailed being provided with the list of delegates or electors and the list of nominees, and the conduct of all of the procedures from that point to the current activity, the declaration of the results. V&A Associates therefore bears responsibility for the entire process outlined above. As a precursor to the conduct of the elections, V&A Associates met with the Congress Committee and the candidates who were nominated to contest for the executive offices, respectively, and sought their concurrence on the intended manner of conduct of the elections. The elections were therefore conducted based on the agreed-to procedures. All of the officials are associates of V&A Associates and unaffiliated to the party. The process itself entailed: 1, voter identification based on the voters list, a delegate card and a picture ID. Notably, the delegate cards were retained by the presiding officers for return after polling. 2, the issuance of 5 ballots to each voter, 1 for each of the positions that was contested. 3, the actual balloting. 4, the ballot count. And 5, the declarations, which are the objects of today's exercise. All of the activities were conducted without any breaches, except for the slothful voting and the extended period of the count of the ballots for the Central Executive Committee members, albeit the statements of polls for the executive officers were issued on the said day after the count, whilst the statement for the Central Executive Committee members is now being issued within 24 hours of the conclusion of the count, as stipulated in the provisions of the procedures and instructions for the conduct of the elections. It is therefore my pleasure to make the following declaration of the results. 1, Aubrey Norton, leader. 2, Sherwin Holder, chairperson. 3, Elizabeth William Niles, vice chairperson. Viceroy Jordan, vice chairperson. Ellison Lowe, treasurer. 6, Nima Flubes, Mervyn Williams, Ganesh Maipal, Coretta MacDonald, Robin Simon, Riaz Rupnarain, Anil Sugrim, Joan Ann Ramasindo, Sherwood Lowe, Troy Garway, Kemal Kisoon, Marcia Gordon, Wainwright McIntosh, Deron Adams, Jermaine Figueroa, Central Executive Committee members. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. At this time, I will open the floor for questions. And bear in mind that the questions today will only be based on the presentation given by Mr. Alexander.
Mr. Alexander, sir, in the previous Congress, it took 2 days for you to deliver results for the Central Executive Committee. This time around the state, it took about 6 days. How can you justify such a long period of time?
First of all, you're not accurate. The results for the executive officers were delivered the night. So these results were not delivered 6 days in totality. The leader, the chairperson, the vice chairperson, the treasurer, they were all delivered the very night of the elections. It's the first point I want to make.
That's advice to the Central Executive Committee.
That's the first point I want to make. They all make up the Central Executive Committee. Secondly, on the last occasion, the elections was not centralized. It was decentralized. And therefore, we had counting in 10 different locations. In fact, 11, including Region 11. On this occasion, the elections were centralized and the counting took place in one place. It was not a question of adding up 10 disparate accounts. Thirdly, the number of persons who voted this time were far more than the number of persons who voted on that occasion. Then again, we were clear at the very inception that the count will be produced, the results will be produced 24 hours after the account. In this instance, this count was conducted essentially over Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We did not work on Monday. We did not count today. We are delivering the count today. So it's inaccurate to say we took 6 days to count. The count actually took 3 days. And during those 3 days, we worked essentially in the evenings because those of us who are counting are otherwise occupied during the day. So for all intents and purposes, we took 3 days to do a count of numbers greater than the last occasion, of counting in one place, and under an understanding that we delivered the count we delivered the results 24 hours, within 24 hours of the count. And these results are being delivered within 24 hours. So it was not 6 days. That's inaccurate.
But Mr. Alexander, I hear what you say, but certainly the declaration is taking a long time. And on the last occasion, according to your declaration in 2021, the number of persons who voted then was 1,282. So how is it that that number is more than this year?
This year, we are in fact dealing with a larger number.
But 1282 is less than 1,300.
What you said? You've just said exactly what should be said. 1,300 is greater than 1282.
Yeah, but there's no big variation. It's just a few votes more. How do you justify your position that it is much larger, that it is larger?
I have said to you it is larger. That is true. That is not the singular factor. I've also said to you that we only counted in the evenings. We did not count through the day. I've said that. And I may say to you that the count in the last occasion across 11 places involved many more hands. There were less hands involved on this occasion. We counted as fast as we could have in the time that we used to count. And in that regard, I may well contend the hours spent counting were less than the last occasion.
Why didn't you get more hands this time?
I didn't see the urgency.
I see. And could you give us a breakdown of the number of votes each person got for the CEC?
That can be provided. For the CEC, I'll give you a breakdown in relation to the 15 who have been elected. Nima flew best, 835. Mervyn Williams, 820. Ganesh Maipal, 810. Coretta MacDonald, 808. Robin Simon, 760. Riaz Rupnarain, 750. Anil Sugrim, 745. Jonan Ramasindo, 740. Sherwood Lowe, 726. Troy Garway, 722. Kimil Kisoon, 702. Marcia Gordon, 658. Wainwright McIntosh, 658. Darren Adams, 626. Jermaine Figueroa, 527.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Given that there are no other questions on today's announcement, I want to thank all of the media personnel that joined today's presser, and of course, those viewing on all of our social media platforms. Thank you, and do have a wonderful afternoon.